They support us so we can support you. Hear about conscious businesses that provide goods and services to our community. Through one another, we uplift and support for the greater good. Let's give a hand to our Goodwill Partners.
Welcome back to Awaken Atlanta. We are sitting here with our Goodwill partner, Teresa Snipes. I'm Tim Ray and Shannon McVey, my co-partner in crime. And we just have been having a great show. Sorry to run our good news segment so short, but we had more important information to share with you.
Yes.
But now we have Teresa Snipes. She's the founder of WatchMyFeet. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, wonderful. So, Teresa, tell us all about WatchMyFeet. And of course, you were at the event, which we had fun. Oh, wasn't that a great event?
Yes, you were at the event.
Yes.
I was.
Did you have the best time ever?
The best time
What did you learn from there?
Yeah.
You know,
From that event?
I learned that there is a networking event that is so genuine, right? And sometimes you go to these events and you walk away with nothing. I literally walked away with contacts and people.
How
and
cool is that? We're connectors.
Awesome. Yes.
We bring people together. Okay,
But cool people, though.
Cool people.
Yes, only people like us.
Lovely
No, just
people.
kidding.
Lovely people.
What's Watch My Feet?
Yes. So Watch My Feet is an organization dedicated to really uplifting and inspiring women, and most importantly, to live on purpose. The guest that you had on, Tamara Day, her story touched me, and I was sitting there and I said, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. I am trying to help people understand that we are here for a purpose.
Yes.
And you look within to figure that out. It's not external. And you'd be amazed at how many people have gone through, and they don't know or realize that.
Well, what you just said strikes to somebody like me, because when you're brought up in religion, you're taught to look outward, never to look inward. Even though God is in you, you should look. Self-discovery is a beautiful thing, but we're taught to not go down that path.
Absolutely.
So why do you think that the generation now is more woken up to this?
Oh my. I think there's a lot of work to do, actually. I mean, think about Facebook and think about how people portray themselves there, right? Everything needs to be nice and pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
And really, we really need to get back to who we really are, right?
I'm going to scoot you in a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
They're moving us. Even though we're
They're
FM
shifting us.
radio, it's still filmed. So
Yeah, so we really need to get back to who we really are, and I believe that in order to do that, you have to find that purpose, right? You have to find out why you were created to be here on this earth. And even if you look at Tamara's story, I think she went from having talents to now a purpose.
yeah,
You could see it in her eyes.
it's not superficial anymore. You're not just zoning. How many people do you think statistically are not living out their purpose?
Oh, I would be, oh my gosh.
80%.
Really? That's
I
freaking
think
high.
it's probably higher. I think it's
Probably higher.
I think it's
Really, you
90%.
guys?
Yeah.
You think that only 10% of people are living their purpose?
Yeah, and 10% don't even know what a purpose is, and 10% aren't even 90%, 95% aren't even realize that they're spiritual beings of a higher nature. They don't even realize how
I don't think I
powerful they
believe
are.
that. You think 90? I don't think I believe
I
that.
think
I
I'm
know.
going to go with Tim.
What?
Even Christians, Shannon, I hate to tell you, even Christians think that they're very small. They don't realize their connection to God and that they are of
Yeah,
God.
but 90% to not know that they have a purpose.
Yeah.
90% to
Right.
not know they're spiritual.
Yeah.
I don't think I believe that.
I do.
So,
I do.
so I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're living on purpose?
I do.
You do?
Most of the time I do.
Most of the
I'll
time.
question some things, but overall, when I sit back and I look at myself, and even when I connect to my higher self, I realize, wow, I'm probably living more of my purpose than I ever have thought I would. And at my age now, it seems more. I'm probably the most happiest I've ever been, and I've always been a very happy person.
Mhm.
What about you?
I am now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me 20 years to get
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of it was fear. A lot of it was just feeling like you're not enough. And you'd be amazed at the forces that hold you back. You're not even
Right.
handcuffed, but there are those forces that hold you back.
How would you encourage somebody to leave their career to live out their purpose when the paycheck is in the career?
Good question.
Wow, that is a really good question.
'Cause Shannon wants to know how to make money.
I'm,
Or in her
I'm living,
purpose.
you know what? I'm living my purpose right now. I'm truly doing what my heart. This is the best thing that's ever happened to us. Don't you think? On Awaken Atlanta, we are
Absolutely.
serving our community, our fellow man, with
Yes.
love in the way that's desired on our heart.
And ourselves too. I mean, I get so much more out of these
Yes.
things than probably
Right.
most people realize.
Yeah.
Can,
Yes.
can you imagine a world with the 80% living on purpose?
Oh my
Do you
God.
think we in the news segment you had? Do you think we'd have all of that?
No.
People would be waking up to a life that they actually want to wake up
Compassion.
Yes.
to. Compassion.
There'd be no wars. I mean, there'd be no like what? There's no one's purpose would
Make
be a
love,
war.
not war.
so watch my feet. So that you were inspired by that, and you woke up, I guess, at this point in your life, and now you made this your purpose to help people find their purpose.
Yes. Because
Because we teach the lessons we need to learn the most.
exactly.
And so this is your lesson that you're now the expert in as you're going forward. So how do you do this on a daily basis?
The first and foremost is you got to find testimonials. People have to be able to touch and feel. I'll give you an example. We started a fireside chat series. It's a 6-part series, and the whole purpose of that series is to find people who are doing just that. Find those people who've taken that step out on purpose. The last segment that we did was on a young lady. She, her name is Raven, and 26 years old, diagnosed with cancer at a young age,
Wow.
in her 20s. And she had to reach within to find her purpose and herself in life and to really change her outcome.
Right.
And today she is 1 year in remission
Wow.
and cancer free, and she did it all holistically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Naturally.
What she was eating, I'm sure, is a huge, huge part.
Absolutely.
We don't realize that, or we do realize it, but it's like we don't have enough self-control to
Well,
actually
we're not
take
ta-
those
well,
steps.
Our parents don't realize it, so we didn't realize. We don't know exactly. You're right. I think it's a mixture of education.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So you
And-
healed
and-
herself.
Yeah, and now she is living on purpose. And you had a segment on your show. I think it was the science of happiness,
Yes.
and you spoke something. You said there's a difference between happiness and joy,
Yes,
right? So there's a
yes.
difference between a talent and living on purpose.
Yes.
Your gift.
Yep.
And I always look at those two things and I say, to be able to wake up and live and do in your gift, so much energy there.
Yes.
It's funny because it reminds me because like I say 80-90% of people are not living on purpose because what people think there's a difference between a career and a calling.
Yes.
And they think the career is the purpose, but they find out later on it's like all I'm doing is working. I'm not
Right.
living my calling.
Mhm.
But you got to first find out what your talent is, right? How do
Exactly.
you find your talent?
Oh gosh, you got to look within. You gotta think of those things that make you feel the happiest. I even went through a segment where I've always known that this is what I was born to do. I
Right.
was born to inspire people because that's where I get the most out of it. It doesn't have to be a spotlight on me. It's can I move you into your
Right,
space where you're
yes.
happy? I've known this for 20 years. It's always been in the back of my mind. I fought it off. But you have to just really be open to yourself to really allow yourself or give yourself permission
Yeah.
to do and act in those things that really make you happy. But before you do that, you have to know yourself too, right?
And don't you think that we're evolving? I feel like in this day and age, it's 2019, there are so many people that are life coaches that are doing business from their phone, social media, and that they're getting paid a lot of money. I feel like it's almost easier now to go out and live that purpose.
I think so, and I think the more life coaches there are, the better off this world is because to me, being a life coach is you got to do your work inside first. It's not like you can get your
You just
psychology
need some
degree.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody to come alongside
Yes.
you and walk with you.
Right. And let you know that it's possible. And that's what I was saying before. So I want to bring those testimonials there, and I want to bring it there so people can touch and feel it. So we have that series that's coming out. Actually, it's out. We've gotten through our second segment, so we have 4 more to get through. But we're going to be touching on a lot of things, and then just the training, right? The training and coaching
Yeah.
that you guys
Right.
mentioned. You got to have it.
What do you think holds people back to discovering their talents? It seems like we're all just so distracted, and that I look at my kids. I'm like, God, I can see their talents a mile away, and then they just run away from them.
It's- A lot of it is fear.
Mhm.
Uh,
A lot of
Fear and maturity. Don't you
Yeah.
think maturing into the who you actually are.
Insecurities.
Yeah.
It's those things that we have to look back in our childhoods. We have to figure out why we feel this way. Here's an exercise that I normally do with people that I come in contact, and they feel like they should be doing something, and something's holding them back. You ask yourself the 5 whys. Have you heard of that?
No, tell us.
Okay, so
lean more into the mic. There.
So the 5 whys. Ask yourself, for example, let's use the story of the breast implants that we talked about. So, why do you want breast implants? You know, you ask yourself why, and then whatever that answer is, or whether it's because I want to look good. Right? Why? Then you go to the second why. Why do you feel you need to look good? Right? And there's a trail of things.
I want attention.
You want attention, right?
Yeah, I want attention.
Why do you need attention?
So should you ask yourself the 5 whys to every major decision that you make?
Absolutely.
But hold on. So the third why so far is why do you want the attention, and eventually
you get, by the 5th why, eventually you get to the real reason.
I like that.
And that is what you attack.
Isn't that? I listen. I had a friend who I forgot his name already, who did this whole series on this. And he says you'll boil down to, like you said, those 5 whys will bring you to always that inevitable feeling that we're not enough.
Yes.
Not enoughness.
Yes. But you are enough.
Right. Are we not? I mean, this is where the spirituality of God that you talk about all the time has such a critical play, because eventually will lead you there, because we are spiritual beings. We are of God. Yes. We have the essence of that. We're not God. We are of God. We have the energy, the makeup, the biochemical makeup of it. You know?
We're made in His likeness. And I tell my son and daughter all the time, like every day we wake up and we remind ourselves that we are created in His likeness. He's given us everything that we need for this world, for us to play our part.
Right.
What we have to do is listen to ourselves. Yes.
And the spirit inside of us.
Exactly.
And not quench it.
Exactly.
Because of fear.
Sounds like a Bible verse right there. Not quench it.
No, that's just me.
That's a Shannonism.
Yeah, it might be a Bible verse. I don't know.
So this is what you're doing. You're doing spiritual God's work here, and you're inspired to it too, aren't you?
Yes.
How does that play out in you when you share that with other people? Is it something that's inevitable? They'll go there, like she was saying. Tamara was saying it was inevitable that she's finding now she's dealing with her sexual abuse. She's dealing with her complete transparency of eliminating the shame and the guilt.
You gotta go through it, guys. You gotta go through it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you feel like you're the only person going through that thing, but your story, everybody has a story.
Exactly.
And that story can help so many people, right? And that's really what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. It's serving and it's sharing your testimony. You'll hear me say that over and over. I promise you guys, my promise to you is every time I fail, most times, I will share it with you guys, because I want to help you to know that you're not alone. You've done some crappy things that you've shared because you want people to know you're not alone.
Absolutely.
Or what happened to you, that is really sad, but talk about it. Bring anything dark to the light, and then you can release it.
Exactly.
So people want to get involved in, like, WatchMyFeet and take it to where they could find their calling. What's the best ways for, not so much to how to reach you, we'll talk about that in a minute, but what are the best steps that they need to start doing to really start moving in that direction?
I think the first thing you need to do is, as we mentioned before, you have to go within to find your calling. Yeah. You're going to have to figure out who you are. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That is the first step. And you may have to deal with some things from your childhood. You may have to, confront some people, right? You may have to do a lot of things, but you really got to figure out who you are and attack those things first. And then you got to figure out what you desire to do. You got to figure out what makes you tick. And I think, especially as women, we are so much of caregivers, and we're always there doing this and doing that. We don't take the time to really know ourselves. Have you heard of those women? Their kids go off to college, and then they don't even know what to do with themselves, right? Because they've lost themselves in the process, right? Yeah. So you got to start, doing those things. being active, trying new things.
Because you are living like alone, not alone, but you are living alone. Like sometimes I'll put my energy so much into my kids to find out who I am, and that's so wrong.
That's
because I've got to be able to stand on my own 2 feet.
You have to. You have to. So those would be the two things, and then the third thing really is to reach out. Reach out to organizations like my own to help you get there and to provide that encouragement and support for you.
And I think it's important to point out that everybody has a different heart for something. Like your heart is living out your purpose and helping people, encouraging people. Our heart is to serve humanity with Awaken Atlanta. People's heart could be building bridges or wildlife cleanup, but whatever that purpose is, it doesn't have to look like what ours is. It can be anything. It could be selling insurance, but if you're doing that and people see that passion in your heart, everybody's going to want some of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I love that. So people want to reach you. Well, how can they reach you, Teresa?
The best way to reach me is to go to my website, www.watchmyfeet.org. I'm also on Facebook, so you can find me there. Just search for Teresa Snipes. You'll find me. The web series will be there. We're also, having events around Atlanta.
That's what I was going to say. Do you have any upcoming events that we can join?
We should do a remote with what she's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have an upcoming event that I'm putting together now. It's dealing with the millennials, right? So the thing, yes.
Dealing with them.
I shouldn't say dealing.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say dealing.
How about tolerating?
Tolerating.
No,
poor
I'm kidding.
You know what? They're smarter than we are.
So how
Come
about
on.
celebrating the millennials?
Celebrating the millennials. But no, here's what we're trying to tackle in this next segment is, when you have millennials, their lives are so different from mine and how we grew up and the things that they're faced with.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is get old school and new school to the table. And I want us to understand the millennial and their thought process and how they roll. Because if we don't understand it, guess what? We lose them. They stop communicating to us. And so we have to do that. Yeah, we have to do that.
What's after millennial? Because that's what we're dealing with right now, right?
Yeah, there's a term for that. I forgot.
Rainbow children. Because I feel like my high school kids are so much more in tune with who they are and so much more evolved than I ever was.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, thank you.
No,
people.
Teresa, listen, this is wonderful work. And let us know how United Intentions Foundation can support you in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Because we're big fans of yours. And we think what this is, helping people find their calling is really everything at this point in life.
Yes, it is. It is. Thank you. And I'll do the same.
All right.
Awesome.
Love you guys.
We love you. All right, guys, but don't go anywhere because we have 10 minutes left of our show, which means it's our recap. We're going to talk about everything that we talked about today.
Everything.
All the boobies.
It's all about boobs. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Awaken Atlanta, a conscious way to start your day on the UI Media Network, sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation.